Hello everyone, welcome to Watch Complications. I'm Brian. Check out the website watchcomplications.com. Follow me on Instagram at watch_complications and subscribe here if you haven't. Thought I'd do something a little bit different in this video, and I think it's really around getting to know my personality a little bit more so you can maybe understand some of the things I say or do in my more serious technical videos. You know, I've got a very sort of dry, different sense of humor, but I thought I'd show you a little bit more about my studio, my space, and do a fun little Q&A. So we're going to have a chat with Brian, a Q&A with Brian. So let's just do it. Okay, so I want to give an overview of my space. When you walk into it, I've got some artwork, of course, Watch Complications, my 10-6 brand, some of the pictures I've taken of some of the watches I've made and that I love to wear. And then I have, of course, my studio lights to help with the lighting and everything. If you hear water in the background, that's because I have a fish tank in here. Some beautiful red-eye tetras in there, which are very robust. You can see there's my wristwatch handbook. You've seen me using this chair. There's my setup in terms of my computer and whatnot. That's because I am a professor full-time. I teach computer science and software engineering. And then there's my workbench. Got lots of other fun stuff on this shelf over here. See watch magazines, handbooks, stuff like that. In an upcoming video, you're gonna get an explanation as to why I have a torch and this piece of wood and nail polish remover and such things on my workbench here. So you've all seen this before. Let me show you the artwork. So some of the pictures I've taken, and you've seen some of these watches. There's my VC Royal Eagle Malt Edition. There's a watch I made for a client. At the back, I put my logo on the bridge on the back. There's my Grand Seiko Blizzard, which I love to wear. And then on the other side across, I have, again, there's my Glass Series watches, my Christopher Ward Ombre Bronze, love that watch, and again, another picture of my Grand Seiko. And then I got my whiteboard where I put all my ideas, or my daughter draws stuff for fun. It's a nice sunny day outside. Yeah, that's my space. Welcome to it. Let's do some questions. First, I'm really thankful I'm able to be here with you today. And I think you know I'm one of your big fans. And I'm glad I'm going to be able to ask you a few questions and get to know more about you, what you do, and what your channel is about. These interviews, is got to hook these mics up. Is that good? Is it okay if I show what I'm wearing today? It's my Atelier Win. I'll put it in front of the camera over here for us. I just got a brand new Barton leather strap. They just came out with a forest green. I just put it on here. Look at this, on this porcelain dial. Atelier Win. It's a beautiful watch. It's my only porcelain dial I have. I think I got this idea from you. And it looks great on this Barton leather. It's a little bit stiff, you know, getting started like a lot of leather straps, but Barton makes good stuff. I know you've reviewed them before, but really cool combo here. All right, questions. What's one of the coolest interactions you've had with a watch company? Coolest brand interactions. I'd have to say, so far my most pleasant interactions have been mostly with smaller brands. For watches, that would be micro brands. Particularly Vario. I've bought a lot of stuff from them. They've sent me some stuff. And I'm wearing one of the shirts right now, but I paid for it. But they've sent me some stuff to review and for free and whatnot. But that's been a really good working relationship in terms of reviews and content and things like that. So I'd say best company interaction is definitely Vario. I loved getting the watch and being able to repair the Silver Empire, and then Ivan sent me the dial, and I swapped out other videos, right, that have come from that. I will say that one of the other interactions that I go through, I don't like solicit. I don't like go out and like email companies and be like, hey, I'm interested in this watch or this strap. You want to send me one for free so I can review it? No, if I like something, I buy it, and then I'll review it just as any other customer would, and I would look at it with that eye. I spent money on this thing, and do I like it? It's one of the things I hope people really understand, or at least learn about my channel, is what makes it different. Is that there are a lot of review channels out there, and they just get sent free stuff, or they solicit and they email and they say, hey, I want to review your watch, I'm going to write a blog post, blah, blah, blah. And they'll send them a free sample and that sort of stuff. Most of the stuff I review is either unsolicited, some owner or micro brand company or something will contact me and say, hey, would you like to review XYZ? And I'll say, yeah, sure, send it over. Or most of the time, it's a product I bought and I'm looking at it through the eyes of the customer and I'm saying, I put money into this. Was it worth it? Is it worth it? And I think that's what makes my channel just a little bit different, particularly when it comes to reviews, is I've actually put my money down on the table for most of the stuff. And if not, it's stuff I'm considering. Or in some cases, like, let's say the review like the Feynman 1, that's a watch, I got it and I was like, I'd thought about it before, considered it. I didn't solicit it. They contact me and say, hey, would you like to review? We've heard some good things. I said, sure, why not? I got it. I'm like, well, I got to have one of these, and bought it. So I put my money down because I like the product, and that's just how I am. So that's what makes my channel, I think, a little bit different than some of the others that are out there. There's still some fun things that happen in this sort of watch community. So I will review a product, I'll buy it. Like I bought some Archer straps off of Amazon, and then I tagged them in an Instagram post, and then they contacted me and they're like, hey, thanks for the post, the tag. Can we send you some free straps? It's like, sure, why not? They said, go pick one out, we'll send it to you. And they did. And they came through on that end of it. And you're about to see it in a quick little shot of some Pool of Tears prototypes that I just put together. And I'll show you what the strap looks like. Thanks, Archer.
That's cool. Must be great. What's your favorite channel to watch on YouTube? Is it a watch channel? What do you like to watch yourself?
I will say it's interesting having a YouTube channel and then watching others, because you kind of know a lot more about what goes on or needs to go on behind the scenes to make a video and to get it all set up correctly, and all the information that has to be entered and all the stuff that goes along with it and publication, etc. But I have to say my favorite channel by far is Producer Michael. Like, that's the one that I watch regularly. I don't know if it's because he's crazy or that he's just so full of positivity that it's just fun and entertaining to watch. It's just entertaining. He does a lot of stuff with watches. He does other stuff too. I mostly watch the watch content, but I watch some of the other, the mansions and the fancy stuff, cars too, but definitely Producer Michael. Watch channels, other watch channels, I do watch some of them sometimes if I'm looking for something specific, or want to check out where someone's currently at in terms of what they're putting out there. But I'll watch some other like watch repair stuff sometimes. But yeah, no, definitely the one I watch regularly, the one I really like is Producer Michael.
That's not the answer I was expecting, but it's interesting to know. And what is the hardest thing about starting a YouTube channel?
The hardest thing about starting a YouTube channel, it's the stuff you don't know. It's the lighting, it's tagging, it's time, editing. There's so many little things. Splash screens, right, for the intro, making an actual interactive intro, which if you look back at some of my old videos, you can see I did some of them like in my basement. There was not good lighting, there's no intro, the audio is not great. It's very different with the videos now, so there's just so many little things that you learn along the way, and unless you do tons of watching of other YouTubers or channels, or digging into audio, video, and all that goes into that, it can be tough to sort of get started. And so it's all those things you don't know. Even though I'm a technical person, I live and work in a technical space, I'm a programmer, there's a lot of things in that space that I didn't really know about or understand until I actually got a channel. It started doing well, and now it's slowly improving over time. And there's still things I don't know. There's still things I'm learning. I'm a constant learner. I want to learn, whether that's watches, YouTubing, anything, right? So that's just the reality. It's the things you don't know. That's what makes starting a YouTube channel difficult, hard.
With all your interactions via the website or the channel or Instagram, like, what's the most common question that you get from people?
Thanks for asking me the irritating question. Now, probably the most common question I get, particularly in email or on my custom watch form, is a Seiko mod, usually SKX mods. And there's Facebook groups for that, there's forums for that, there's so many groups out there for Seiko modding that, but still people reach out, weekly saying, hey, I want this Seiko modded this way, and I'm just like, it's fun. It's a good way to get into watches. It's a good way to get into modding because there's so many providers, distributors, parts out there for those watches. It's good to get into the hobby, and particularly tinkering, but it's just not something that I do as part of my brand or my watch work. So, but yeah, that's the most common question I get.
Hey, 2020's been a rough year for a lot of people. I'm kind of curious though, what's the most worn watch you've had so far in 2020?
My most worn watch of 2020, that would be, at this point, thankfully I have an app that helps me keep track of it, a Watchy, which also has a light version now for free if you want to try it out. I'll put the link in the description below, but uh, because I started only tracking my wear rates in 2020, January 1st, 2020, I started it. And I had just gotten a new watch at that point. That was the Marlowe Moror, and I have the sand version. I'll put a picture up in the video. But I wore that a lot through like January, February, March, and then I've picked up some nice newer watches since then, and those are quickly gaining pace. So currently number one is the Marlowe Moror Sand. Then it would be the Christopher Ward C1 Morgan Aero 8, which I just absolutely love. I would say that's probably my favorite watch right now in my collection if I had to pick one just to keep, and that was the only one. Probably that one, and then a close second to that, but third most worn so far this year would be my Christopher Ward Trident Bronze Ombre. That was the Make 2 model. That was the first Ombre. I love that watch. It's a little bit big, but I still really like it. And then after that, to be honest, because of the spring, summer, and pandemic, being at home a lot, lots of things around the house, my fourth most worn is my Casio MRW 200H. I love that watch. I wear it all kinds of places. The Pagani PD 1651, which is the Yachtmaster copy, that's actually already, it's just screamed up the top. I've worn that so much as of late that it's blown by. And then I've got like the Grand Seiko and BC, but right now it is the Marlowe Moror in 2020. So far that's winning, but the Morgan will probably pass it pretty soon.
Why do you make such long videos?
Kind of an insulting question is that. Why do I make long videos? Well, you're right. A lot of YouTubers, depends. I mean, you've got basically TV shows on YouTube that are like an hour long, or you've got playthroughs that are ridiculously long of like games and stuff. So it kind of depends on the niche and the topic. A lot of watch videos are shorter, particularly if they're reviews. They could be 5 to 10 minutes, right? Or I'd really say 10 to 15 minutes. But there's this concept that videos have to be 10 minutes or less, 5 minutes or less. And I look at the average watch times on YouTube, which are 3 to 4 minutes per video. My average watch time is closer to like 8 minutes, give or take. I'm trying to do my part with increasing the attention span of humanity. Now, at the end of the day, I just do me. I'm not going to wear a watch for 1 or 2 days and then give you the spec list in a 5-minute video. That's just not who I am as a watch enthusiast, as a reviewer, just as a person. That's just not the way I am. I might be a little bit long-winded at times, but you know what? So what? It's me. What I do is I'll wear a watch for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then I will give you all the pros and cons, the details, macro shots, all the information I can. You can watch it, you can not watch it, you can skip ahead. I give timelines in my more recent videos to kind of help people skip around if they want to. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting little short videos out there on stuff, but don't misunderstand me and my channel. I've done some short videos. I do a few shorter ones, and even on those I've had some like comments where it's like, this video is 5 or 6 minutes long and it took 3 or 4 minutes to show the actual watch. It's like, well, it's an unboxing and it's a 5-minute video. It's like, you work your way up to the unboxing. That's sort of the point. What I really want is for people to understand my approach in my channel is that I want to give context and information in a meaningful way in a time frame in which it can be absorbed. And if you want to just know the spec list and a couple thoughts about it, then go read about it on a website. It takes 2 seconds, right? If you want a more in-depth evaluation of something, then Watch Complications is the channel to look at.
Yeah, but why do you even do this?
Why do I do this? I don't know, because I'm a masochist. I just wanted to give myself a second job which is what it's become at this point, between making custom watches for clients and the channel and all that goes into it. People really have no idea how much work goes into making videos and doing the photography for a blog post and writing the content and editing, and it's insane the amount of time that goes into it, to be honest. It's a second job. But at the end of the day, I'm a learner, I'm a tinker, I'm an engineer, and I like to have fun. And this is my hobby. It started as that, as a watch enthusiast, and it's turned into much, much more, where now I'm just a self-trained sort of maker, and I'm trying to share information, things that I've learned or have discovered with others. There's a lot of people out there that just post pictures of, like, look at this cool dial I made, or look at this thing, but they share nothing about the process. And it's infuriating to me. It's just like, what, instead of just showing, hey, look at this cool thing I made, why don't you share that? Why don't you give it to somebody? Why don't you help others learn? And being a teacher, that's just instilled in me, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. What are your favorite watch groups on Facebook?
Facebook groups. Now, there's an interesting topic, a dangerous topic, actually. People are quite passionate behind screens and keyboards, and particularly in the watch world. I like Christopher Ward Enthusiast. I'm a CW fan. I'm one of the admins over there, and so I particularly like that group. It's probably one of the nicest. It's got, and that's not because I'm an admin. I was a group member there for years before becoming an admin, and it's got to be the nicest group on Facebook when it comes to watches. It's not limited to just CW watches. You can kind of talk a little bit about everything. You can share, whether it's with Life, other brands, etc. It's just a great group of people at CWE. So check that out sometime. But also, Grand Seiko Owners Club, very kind and friendly. The Vacheron Constantin group is extremely nice and friendly. There's not snobbery there, to be honest. It's kind of interesting what groups really have that sort of reputation or interactions with each other. Okay, look, I care about positivity and being nice, and that's probably why I like producer Michael's YouTube channel. But when it comes to Facebook groups, there is a lot of negativity. There are a lot of shark tanks out there. There are people that like to troll. It's like anything on social media, right? And so you got to be careful, and you got to go into a group or a conversation or thread with a grain of salt anyway. There are some great groups out there, and I've mentioned those. There's some groups out there that are managed with a little bit of an iron fist. They're kind of jerkish about it. I've been kicked out of Microbrand Watches group before because I called out a copy. The person that was doing the micro brand creation had just photoshopped and copied a tag, a Hoyer Altavia, and I just called it out and said, this is a copy. Why don't you make something original? Like, I tried to be factual and conversational about it, and I got banned because I posted a picture that was of the watch that was being copied, but the copy was okay, right? And then on top of that, I'm like, why is this getting removed? Why is this happening? And then it was like blocked, banned forever. It's like, I mean, if people want to be jerks and childish about it, it's their business. It's their loss. But there are some groups out there like that, and even big groups like that one. And you just got to be, no skin off my nose sort of approach to that. I mean, don't be a jerk. Whether you're an admin or you're a group member of the group, just be helpful, be nice, be positive. And the people that are out there with big boy syndrome, come on, get over yourself and just be humble and do something good instead of being a jerk. How about that?
I'm sorry, I just don't want to be rude. Would you prefer if I called you doctor?
Oh, right. Lead right into the you have a doctorate question. No, you can call me Brian.
Now, the watch community is fairly niche, but it's a pretty big world. There's a lot out there. I'm kind of curious, what drives you the most nuts about the watch community, and what's the best thing about it from your perspective?
What drives me most nuts about the watch community, and what's the best thing about it? Thank you for the positive side of the question. What drives me most nuts is the snobbery and the shark tankness of the community at some points, particularly for people that are just getting into the brand, and then they hop in, they ask a newbie sort of a question, and then people just hop on them. And yeah, people should look and Google and read and stuff more, but everybody starts somewhere, and you need to help lead people to truth, whether that's about the watches, complications, how things work, differences between something as simple as quartz versus mechanical watches, or mechanical hand wounds versus automatic. Basic things like that, all the way up to picking out like a luxury piece. There's so many conversations and there's so many opportunities that people just jump and pile on, and okay, express your opinion, but also just realize there are people with different perspectives, different experience, different backgrounds, different everything, and it's not your way or the highway when it comes to things. So just be nice with the good things. I've made good friends. I've gotten to know people, like some cases really good friends. We talk on a daily basis. I've met lots of makers and developers and watchmakers and tinkers and micro brand owners and company representatives. Like, I've gotten to know lots of people by being in this community, and there's so many good people out there. And so if you are in any of these groups and things and around, don't let any of the negativity and things get you down, particularly if you're going into it with an open mind and wanting to learn and interact with people. There's some good stuff out there. So that's what I really like the most, is there is opportunity for establishing and making really good relationships with people if you go about it the right way.
Kind of big picture watch collection question. What is watch collecting to you?
What is watch collecting and being an enthusiast to me? Well, I would summarize it in this way. It's a process, and we're all in different phases of that process. For example, let's talk movements as an example of the process. You might start out thinking, buy what you like. Just buy what you like. What looks good. And that's a good motto to have throughout your collecting and your enthusiast career, we'll call it, which will cost you a lot of money. But at some point, you're going to be like, you know what? I've matured a little bit. Mechanical watches preferred, quartz is okay. And then you go through this phase. Oh, you know what? Mecha quartz is a nice alternative. And then it's like nothing but mechanical. And then it's, well, I prefer hand wound to automatic. Like, so there's this process that even with like something like what kind of movements you would want in a watch as you go through, and then that goes all the way up to the different design characteristics, complications you might want on a piece. So it's a process. Watch collecting is a process, but at the end of the day, just do you. Don't worry about, there's these questions sometimes about which one would you pick, and people want to be honest. They were asking, which watch should I get, this watch or this watch? And they'll ask for help, or they'll say, which one of these is better? Which one is an investment? Who cares about any of that? Who cares about what other people think? What do you like? And buy that if you can afford it. End of story.
Again, thank you so much for taking some time today to do this. I'm going to make sure I hit that subscribe button again.
I'll tell you what, I do really appreciate all of you, my subscribers, and hopefully this video has given you a little bit more insight into my personality. And now I really need a shave so I look more like that guy.